When it comes to celebrity love lives, perhaps none has been as scrutinized as that of Jennifer Aniston. Many thought she had finally met her true love when she got together with Justin Theroux, but apparently that wasn't the case. We'll talk about their seemingly perfect love story and let you know the ugly truth about why it didn't work out. Before we begin, be sure to click on the subscribe button to get the latest videos from us here at The Taco. Let's get started. Not only is Jennifer Aniston a talented actress, but she's one that many of us have a soft spot in our hearts for. She portrayed the iconic character Rachel Green on the hit sitcom Friends, and fans wanted to copy everything from her style to her famous haircut. When we found out she was engaged to Hollywood heartthrob Brad Pitt, we couldn't be happier for her. Her career was going great, she and Pitt got married, and everything seemed happy for some time. But then, as we all know, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie met while filming the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Soon there were rumors of an affair between them, and Pitt and Anniston announced their intentions to divorce. After the dust settled, Pitt claimed there was issues in their marriage which existed prior to meeting Jolie. He denied an affair and stated that their marriage wouldn't have worked out with or without her involvement. But many fans didn't believe this, and it was easy to subscribe to a narrative which portrayed Jolie as a homewrecker. After all, this wasn't the first romance with a co-star she had been involved in, nor the first person who had left a serious relationship to be with her. Jennifer Aniston not only lost her husband, but she seemingly lost him to another gorgeous actress. It seemed like most of the world was strictly on Aniston's side during this time. To further complicate matters, Pitt and Anniston had no children together, while Jolie and Pitt would go on to have many. We tell you all of this not to rehash history, but to highlight how and why so many of us became so obsessed with Aniston's love life. She had been through so much, and we all wanted her to get her own happy ending. After the divorce, Anniston went on to have many other relationships, but nothing serious. She dated Vince Vaughn, who she met on the set of their movie The Breakup, model Paul Sculper, and Aaron Eckhart, as well as John Mayer. And of course, those are just the confirmed romances and not some of the many alleged flings she was having with various men in Hollywood. And then finally, she met Justin Theroux. Everything about their relationship was as sweet as could be, at least on the outside. The couple first met on the set of the 2007 movie Tropic Thunder, although they wouldn't reconnect until much later. They reconnected while filming the movie Wonderlust, and the two really hit it off. Rumors of a relationship followed them for a while, but these two tried to keep things on the down low. However, fans weren't fooled, and we were thrilled but not surprised when they announced they were together in 2011. Not only had Anniston found love, but this couple was total relationship goals. They moved in together, were always wearing adorably coordinated outfits, and took frequent luxurious vacations together. Aniston described herself as extremely lucky and extremely happy during this period of time, and who could blame her? Before long, they adopted an adorable dog named Sophie, and Theroux described himself as the luckiest guy in the world. The two decided to celebrate Theroux's 41st birthday at Blue Hill in New York City, and he used it as an opportunity to pop the question. The moment was simple but sweet, and Anniston was overwhelmed with emotion. The two began planning their wedding, but there was one little problem. Despite being together for years and having children together, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie had put off getting married. They claimed it was in support of marriage equality, but they eventually decided to tie the knot. Of course, they planned to do so right around the time Anniston finally got engaged. It was rumored that this forced Anniston and Theroux to postpone their nuptials to avoid being associated with Aniston's ex. And this was far from the only source of stress on their relationship. When they weren't jetting off to exotic locales, they had some real issues to deal with. Aniston was working on film projects, and the couple was trying to redecorate their Bel Air mansion. Although those things still seem pretty luxurious to us, they caused a lot of stress, particularly on Anniston. Some sources claim Theroux had never seen her so stressed out, and the wedding became the last thing on her mind. For her part, Anniston insisted that the two already felt married and were in no rush to make it down the aisle. Hollywood engagements and relationships, for that matter, tend to move pretty quickly. This 3-year engagement worried fans, despite the pair putting on a united front in public. We began to wonder if they were ever going to actually make it official. But eventually they did, after a lengthy 3-year-long engagement. They got married in a secret wedding in their own home. When the two announced they were splitting up, the tabloids went wild. There were all sorts of rumors, everything from disagreements about kids to Anniston getting back together with Brad Pitt. But the real ugly truth about Anniston and Theroux was that there doesn't seem to have been some cataclysmic event which split them up. So often we see marriages blow up because of cheating or some other sort of horrible betrayal. In Anniston's first marriage, it was easy to point the finger at Pitt and Jolie for destroying the relationship. But in this situation, the reality was much more sobering and in many ways scary. This couple who always seemed so in love, who stared at each other with adoration on the red carpet, who had so much money and fame at their disposal, just realized they were different people. To those who hoped for some juicy gossip, the placid statements released by Anniston and Theroux may seem disappointing. But to those of us with experience in romantic relationships, they're quite sad. After all, if these two gorgeous celebs with unlimited resources couldn't make it work, what does that say for the rest of us? After spending so many years together and two married, then the couple simply realized they were too different to make it work. They stayed united even when announcing their split. According to Theroux, navigating the inevitable perception of it is the exhausting part. He claimed that they were parting on good terms, they still respect one another, and were looking to make their divorce as painless as possible. Despite taking things slowly and having tons of prior relationship experience, it took 2 years for the pair to realize they were too different to stay married. Although their jet-setting relationship may have looked glamorous on the outside, being famous may have done more harm than good. Jennifer Aniston is a huge Hollywood star, and she's very much involved in the scene. She was happy to live it up with other Hollywood A-listers, and it got to be a bit much for Theroux. The two once celebrated New Year's Eve in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, with John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, Jimmy Kimmel, and his wife Molly McNerney. This may sound like a dream come true to most of us, but it just wasn't Theroux's style, no matter how much he loved Anniston. Theroux was more about living a quiet life and was heavily involved in the art scene. Both of them tried to compromise, but found themselves losing too much of themselves in the process. Theroux described the media as a magnifying glass, which helped make their problems appear even bigger than they actually were. Seeing every little spat you have with your partner in giant font in news headlines can be stressful to say the least. He claimed every disagreement began to feel like a 10 on the Richter scale, and this was something which followed their relationship relentlessly. Not only did it impact their relationship and eventually their marriage, but it's hounding them to this day. Going through a divorce, even an amicable one, is a nightmare, and the media has made things so much worse for this couple. Some people even believe this has impacted Theroux's career in a negative manner. Before meeting Anniston, he was interested in less mainstream, more creative projects. His career has definitely shifted since then, with him taking on much more mainstream roles, such as Netflix Maniac. Theroux argued that his relationship hasn't impacted his creativity, but many disagree. After all, it seems unlikely that something as major as a marriage wouldn't have impacted his outlook and creativity at all. Jennifer Aniston was single for a while before meeting Theroux, and during that time she set up a very happy life for herself. She lived in Los Angeles along with her very tight-knit group of friends, including Friends alum Courtney Cox. In fact, fans of the sitcom will remember that her character Rachel was ultimately unable to leave her beloved New York behind in order to go to Paris during the series finale. But ironically, it was Aniston's reluctance to embrace New York City which added stress to the marriage. Theroux wasn't crazy about living in LA, which is awash in the celebrity culture he had come to treat with disdain. He owned a place in Manhattan, but Anniston could never get herself to feel at home there. The paparazzi were a constant problem, and she would much rather enjoy her spacious Bel Air estate than a New York apartment. Aniston couldn't stand living in New York, while Theroux wasn't happy back in LA. The two tried to compromise and split their time between both places, but it just wasn't enough. Struggling to decide which palatial estate to stay in seems like such an A-lister problem, but it was a serious issue in this relationship. In addition, Theroux was still going hard with his career and was taking on many projects, including Mute and The Spy Who Dumped Me. Anniston, on the other hand, was content to take fewer projects as she had earned her fame and fortune many times over already. With all of this in mind, all of those exotic vacations the two went on started to seem less than romantic. Instead, they seemed like a way for two people to escape all of the problems which are plaguing their lives and their marriage. But after vacation is over, it's time for them to go back to a home which makes neither of them completely happy and at ease. Based on some sources, it seems as if escapism was a constant theme in their relationship. When Anniston was away filming, Theroux was only too happy to live it up in New York City. He was free to hang out with his single friends, hit up the latest art exhibit, and often found himself too busy to check in with his partner. Aniston had another source of stress she was eager to escape from. Way back when she was married to Brad Pitt, everyone wanted to know when these two gorgeous young celebrities were going to have kids already. As we know, this never happened. Pitt went on to have children with Angelina Jolie, and Anniston remained child-free. Tabloids and gossip sites were all too happy to perpetuate the idea that Anniston was desperate to have a child and was awash with sadness over not having one. However, according to Anniston, this is is a massive misconception about her life. Not everybody wants children, and Jennifer Aniston happens to be one of them. She resents the image that she mourns not having a child when really she couldn't be happier to be living her life just how it is. Some people even accused her of not having a child for selfish reasons or because she wanted to concentrate on her career. Anniston tried for decades to correct this idea and was never really successful. Things got even crazier when she started seeing Theroux. Everyone assumed that she would finally have a child now that she had a man in her life. But Jennifer Aniston has never been interested in the cookie-cutter family life, and neither has Theroux. Although they undoubtedly loved one another, it just wasn't enough to make their marriage work. How do you feel about the breakup of Jennifer Aniston and Justin Theroux? Was everything as amiable as they made it seem, or are they hiding a shocking scandal? Let us know what you think in the comments section, and then click on the subscribe button to get more videos from the taco. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.